I sell 8 figures in real estate, working only 10 hours a week. And the thing that made it possible had nothing to do with lead gen, closing skills, or hard work. It had everything to do with systems. But I didn't always operate this way. And this weekend, something happened that reminded me exactly how far I've come and how easy it is to slip backwards if you let the clutter build up. I spent the weekend using Claude to clean up my operational backlog in my business. I set up a prompt that sends me a weekly systems audit. It tracks every system I've installed, every process I've built, and the time each one took. I now can take those outputs and turn them directly into SOPs and training modules for my team. And here's the thing that surprised me the most. The biggest gift wasn't the SOPs themselves, it was the brain space. Once I got that clutter documented and out of my head, I could actually think again. I had cognitive bandwidth for the first time in months. And I realized I hadn't launched anything new since September of 2023, 2.5 years ago. I had enrolled 11 people at $10,000 each in a single day during that launch. $110,000 in one day. And then I got so buried inside that operation that I never built on it. And it's not because I'm lazy. It's because I was spending every ounce of energy managing what already existed instead of building what came next. And that's the trap that I see every single leader fall into. Whether you're running a real estate team, doing massive volume, or you're a founder with a company that's grown past the point where your infrastructure can hold it, you hit this wall and revenue is there, the team's in place, but you're still the one answering all the questions and business can't move forward. Let me give you some real examples. I talked to a real estate team leader recently who has a TC. She's got 2 agents on her team and a virtual assistant. On paper, she's got all the support. In reality, every single process runs through her. Her TC doesn't know what to do when an appraisal comes in low because there's no documented decision tree for that. Her VA is waiting on her every morning to assign tasks because there's no scoreboard telling the VA what the priorities are. She's literally spending 3 hours a day just directing traffic. And she wonders why she can't get to her own listing appointments on time. Not really, but that's not a people problem. Her team isn't underperforming. They're just under-equipped. The business DNA lives entirely in her head. And until it comes out of her head, everyone around her is stuck waiting for instructions. I talked to another person outside of real estate entirely, a family that surfs, all of them. They want to live in Mexico and run their business remotely so their kids can grow up in the water. They're already making really good money, so they don't have a revenue problem. They've got a systems problem because the business can't survive a week without them physically present. Nothing is documented, nothing is tracked, and every decision still funnels through one person. I've got another conversation set up with someone who had a 15-year retirement plan and now she wants to do it in 5. Same situation. The business is producing, but it's also consuming her. And she knows that if she keeps this pace for 15 more years, there won't be anything left of her to enjoy retirement. These are all the same problem wearing different outfits, and the solution is the same too. So let me teach you the framework that I use, and whether you ever want to use this, it's going to change the way that you look at your operation. Step 1 is the audit. Before you can fix anything, you have to see what's actually happening. I look at every system inside a business. I ask one question. Can this business run without me or the leader in the room? If the answer is no, it's a capacity leak. And most leaders I work with have somewhere between 5 and 15 of these. They don't need to fix all of them at one time. They just need to fix the right one first. Step 2 is the brain dump. And it's one of the most powerful things I've ever learned to do. I tell leaders to hit record and just talk. Don't have a structure or an agenda. Don't worry about sounding polished. I'm doing it right now as I speak to you. Because when you let a leader just talk, you hear where the pain actually lives. You hear what they're carrying that they haven't been able to articulate in a strategy session. The brain dump is how the business DNA finally gets out of their head and into a format that can be turned into a system. Step 3 is what I call the biggest domino. Out of all the capacity leaks you identified in the audit, there's one system that if you install it first, creates a cascade of relief across entire business. For our team leader I mentioned, it was a transaction management scoreboard. One system, the single scoreboard, told her TC exactly what to do at every stage of the deal, which meant that the TC stopped asking questions every single morning, which also meant the team leader got 3 hours back every single day, which then meant she could actually get to her listing appointments and grow the business instead of babysitting it. And that's the domino effect. When you install one system correctly, it changes everything downstream. And then there's the scoreboard itself. The scoreboard is the tracking mechanism that tells your team exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to know if it's working. If you have a transaction coordinator, an assistant, a VA, anyone helping you, the scoreboard becomes their operating system. They stop waiting for you to tell them what to do because the scoreboard does it. And this is how I manage my real estate business in just working 10 hours a week. My team doesn't need me in the room anymore because all they have or all they need is a scoreboard. Step 5 is the SOPs, standard operating procedures that make the system repeatable. So when you go to Mexico or you go on vacation for a week and step away, or when you take your kid to a baseball game on a Tuesday afternoon, the business runs the play. The SOP is the playbook for your team, and they follow it when you're not there. It has to be specific enough that a new hire could pick it up on day one and execute it 80% without ever talking to you. And that's the framework: audit, brain dump, biggest domino, scoreboard, SOPs. 5 steps. And when you do them in this order, the transformation happens so fast. I've seen it take 6 weeks to completely change how an entire business operates. Why am I so passionate about this? Because I lived the opposite for all those years. I managed 200 people in corporate America. I handled over 1,500 SKUs across multiple business units. I got certified in lean process improvement and Six Sigma. I knew how to build systems at scale. And when I went into real estate, I forgot all of it. I bought into the hustle culture. I worked 18 days in a row. I came home to a husband who told me I was married to my job. I cried over a P&L statement that was in the red by 5 figures despite record volume. The revenue was there, the systems weren't. And without systems, revenue is a trap. You make more, you do more, you carry more, and eventually you break. I built my way out of that by installing the exact framework I just taught you. And now I sell 8 figures in real estate while working 10 hours a week. I didn't get there by grinding harder. I got there by building an operating system that runs without me being the answer to every question. So here's what I want you to do. Look at your calendar. Count the hours you spend doing work that only you can do versus work you do because nobody else knows how. That second number, that's your capacity leak. And I promise you, it is much bigger than you think. If you want to find out exactly where that capacity is leaking, I built a free tool called the Capacity Blueprint. It walks you through the exact same diagnostic I use with my private clients to find the one bottleneck that's bleeding the most time and money. So grab it using the link in the description. And if you already know where the leak is and you're ready to fix it, just book a call with me. That link's down there too. In 20 minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly what I see. And if you want to keep going, I made a video about how to stop throwing money at the wrong problem that connects directly to what we talked about today. I'm going to link it right here. So go watch that next. And remember, you're only one system away from the life you always dreamed of.